Hello everyone, it's me again, MX Shu. I was spending time with friends here in Oregon when I learned that one of my dear friends, D, is considering applying for a job in Taichung. As someone raised under Confucian principles, I believe in the virtue of honesty among friends. So here I am again, sharing some hard truths about my beloved homeland, Taiwan. Taiwan's unique geopolitical position and leading role in the semiconductor industry have shaped its global image. Most people recognize it as a democratic nation unable to assert its independence due to China's claims over it. There's widespread sympathy for Taiwan because of China's aggressive tactics, such as military exercises and diplomatic bullying. But is Taiwan as democratic and progressive as it claims? Does it truly uphold the moral high ground that it projects to the world? Let's start with Taichung. My dear friend D, do you know how bad the air quality can get there? And do you know that cancer is the leading cause of death in Taiwan, with lung cancer topping the list? Initiated from a campaign promise made by President Tsai Ing-wen in 2016, Taiwan's government has been committed to a no-nuclear homeland by 2025 policy ever since. Her administration set a goal to derive 20% of electricity from renewables, 30% from coal, and 50% from liquefied natural gas by 2025. However, as of 2023, only 9.47% of Taiwan's electricity came from renewables, while a staggering 83.14% relied on thermal power generation, which is nowhere close to reaching the goal. The consequences? Deteriorating air quality due to heavy fossil fuel consumption, rising electricity prices, and summer blackouts. Air conditioning during summer in Taiwan is a must, which increases electricity demand. Moreover, the government's aggressive push for renewable energy has been marred by corruption scandals. Critics have questioned the sustainability of the no-nuclear homeland policy, suggesting it's time to correct course. Overlooking these setbacks, the ruling Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, appears to be sleepwalking, clinging to its 2016 ideals while straying from the broader goal of net zero emissions by 2050. Meanwhile, the lifespan of two existing nuclear power plants is being wasted, and a brand new nuclear facility is sitting idle, mothballed indefinitely. Now, let's talk about food. Just thinking about Taiwan's awesome food scene makes my mouth water. The breakfast options alone can be delightfully overwhelming, and eggs play a central role. But here's an ugly truth about eggs in Taiwan. During the COVID pandemic in 2022, the nation faced an egg shortage, prompting the government to hastily open its markets to imports. Instead of the proper bidding process for this important government contract, the Ministry of Agriculture used a special project approach to expedite egg imports. A tiny company, Ultra Source Ltd, with just 500,000 new Taiwan dollars in capital, suddenly appeared out of nowhere and then landed the massive contract via chat conversations with government administrators over the social messaging app Line. The first imports of eggs from Japan arrived in 2022, followed by a 700 million new Taiwan dollars shipment from Brazil in 2023. Why Brazil? The choice of Brazil raised eyebrows among Taiwanese due to the long overseas distance and the fact that Brazil was grappling with a bird flu pandemic at the time. The imported eggs came with issues: mislabeled birth dates on the eggs, incorrect product origin labeling, and excessively long shelf life stamps. As a result, more than 400 million new Taiwan dollars worth of imported eggs had to be destroyed due to food safety concerns. Was Ultra Source Ltd merely a front for cronyism? The lack of transparency suggests as much. Still with me? Great, because it gets juicier. And I hope this episode doesn't get censored or channel blocked, because it's happened before. And so I've recently been questioning whether Taiwan is truly democratic and progressive, or if it is veering toward becoming a quasi-democracy, ruled by an elected but repressive regime. I was shocked when DPP legislator Huang Jia made Time magazine's 100 Next list of emerging world leaders. Her parliamentary theatrics often seem immature and uninformed. Security footage has shown her breaking into meeting rooms illegally to gain advantage in the legislative bill passing process. And such behavior isn't isolated. Other DPP legislators have been caught vandalizing public property, engaging in violence, committing assault, and spreading misinformation. Adding to the shock and dismay, the DPP's caucus whip, Ko Wen-je, even launched a campaign to recall 41 opposition KMT legislators, including the legislative speaker and deputy speaker. But the real jaw-dropper occurred in December 2024, when a social media post from the DPP caucus briefly supported South Korea's emergency martial law, which was then swiftly deleted and replaced with a statement condemning it. Backpedaling and damage control ensued. Does this sound like chaos to you? At least in the Taiwanese political realm, it certainly does. Finally, let's discuss Ko Wen-je, a topic I've covered extensively in previous videos and shorts. For the record, I'm not affiliated with or sponsored by the Taiwan People's Party, TPP, which is notably underfunded compared to its rivals. The TPP is mostly funded by small individual donations and not large corporate sponsors. As a Taiwanese expatriate, I consume a lot of online news about Taiwan. What troubles me is how little Taiwan's local news reaches international audiences and how biased the reporting is. Many foreign correspondents fail to do A+ homework and dig deep into a story, relying instead on direct reporting from the mainstream, government-subsidized Taiwanese media outlets. The Taipei District Prosecutor's Office is seeking to sentence Ko to 28.5 years for bribery and other forms of corruption after holding him in custody incommunicado for 4 months. Despite very weak evidence, Ko has been detained repeatedly, released on bail twice for very short durations of time, forced to wear an ankle monitor, and then detained again. Such strict measures were previously unheard of for cases of white-collar crime in Taiwan. Now Ko is currently being held for another 3 months. In stark contrast, Cheng Wen-san, the former Taoyuan city mayor and DPP politician who faced similar allegations in 2024, was released on bail after being held in custody for 48 days incommunicado. Cheng was released without having to wear an ankle monitor, and the prosecutor didn't seem to be concerned about possible collusion after his release. Why did tens of thousands of TPP supporters brave the cold drizzle to rally at Liberty Square in Taipei on January 11, 2025? Could it be the glaring double standards for justice? Critics from across the political spectrum have questioned the case against Ko. Justice in Taiwan, it seems, is becoming increasingly suspect. Wasn't Ko Wen-je's indictment convincing enough? What's funny not funny is that most of the contents were leaked to the press before the official release by the court, which makes a mockery of the concept of non-disclosure investigations in Taiwan. The so-called evidence was the thumb drive found with a Microsoft Excel file on it that showed an entry of 1,500 followed by the name of the real estate developer in question. The prosecutors interpreted that as Ko accepting a 15 million new Taiwan dollars bribe from the developer. The indictment states that the bribe was delivered in cash at some time at some place. And so it appears that the prosecutors are merely assuming that such an exchange must have happened. They don't have actual evidence that it did, beyond the vague Excel workbook entry. That's how the tongue-in-cheek expression Excel Pay was coined online and went viral in Taiwan since the release of the indictment, meaning that whatever number a person enters into Excel becomes reality. Haha, not funny. If there is no proof of cash bribery nor a money trail flowing into Ko's personal accounts, what is substantiating the case that corruption occurred? In terms of the legal definition of crime, the evidence for corruption is indeed rather weak, said Frank C., a longtime DPP politician and former defense attorney. Over the past weeks, more politicos in Taiwan are standing up to voice their questions and concerns about this case, including heavyweight political figures from both the Green Camp, DPP, and the Blue Camp, KMT. As a proud guardian of 2 fur babies, I try to protect the runts and empathize with the underdogs. Seeing a 5-year-old political party like the TPP, also referred to as the White Camp, being stifled by its larger, more established rivals evokes my sympathy. Unlike its seasoned counterparts, the TPP has made naive missteps, such as hiring an inept CPA whose sloppy bookkeeping fueled the case against Ko to begin with. Regardless, I hope the TPP leadership learns and the party continues to grow. A third major party in Taiwan's polarized political landscape is invaluable, offering the promise of a dynamic and healthier democracy. So, should you move to Taichung? That's up to you. But as someone who loves Taiwan, I believe in both celebrating its strengths and calling out its weaknesses.